So we begin taking a look at some of the essential concepts of SpotOnResponse. The first is that there's an area of interest. Because this is a mobile app, you have limited capacity on your device. So you need to identify what you're concerned about. That's set in the profile and is represented here by this map of San Francisco. Secondly, there are items of interest. That's what these points are on the screen. Those items of interest are entered by others as well as come from external sources like dispatch. Finally, there are observations of interest. Those are pieces of information provided by those at the scene who are able to observe an item of interest and be able to provide more information about it. Another major concept are that there are teams. All of you form part of a team, and those teams are represented by little people icons. There are some basic operations you need to understand. This globe up here returns you back to this basic area of interest. This double arrow allows you to refresh manually. This item over here logs you out of SpotOnResponse. And on other screens, if you have left this screen, you can use this back arrow to go back to the previous. The Tools menu up here has a couple of elements that we'll focus on later, how to build your profile and also to set the location. So let's start taking a look at some of the fundamental functions. There's a little person icon up here that shows where I am. And that can either be my GPS location, if I have that turned on, or it's going to be the set location function that we'll take a look at. A couple of other items. These pins, you can click these pins. When items are close to you, they color red in order to give you an indication that this is something that's nearby you, and therefore you may either be concerned about it or may be able to contribute to it. You also can switch between this map view and a satellite view, and you can drag this person over to any place in the area and actually be able to street view. The street view is very handy because you can use this, capture this image, and in simulating your participation, it would be as though you had just taken this photograph. You can then use this to create one of your observations of interest. So let's take a look now at some of these items of interest. I've got one of these here, and it happens to be a circle here, which means something to some of you. I will click on it and discover that, the circle means liquefaction. And here we have an incident with some sand boils on it. You can also then click on this details, and it's going to do a couple of things. First thing, it provides, if there were more information on the reason or the disposition or a larger description of those sand boils, it would be contained down there. But more importantly, or equally important, it provides directions to get there. So if I am dealing with this problem, I'm assigned to be able to respond to this. This is a quick view of some driving directions. And if I click on the directions button there, I even get the written directions associated with it. So that's a piece of being able to have an item of interest. It's going to go in a different way so that you note that all these have listings here. And in fact, if you look on the right-hand side, it says there are two options. I'm going to pick that one now. I'm not knowing where that is, just a few blocks away, it turns out. And this has been part of the NASA's damage proxy map. I can come into this location and actually click on this blue button and see that, in fact, we have not a high priority small building with no incidents there. And these, however, have some accompanying pictures or voice notes or something like that. I've got this button, and I can click on that. And here, in fact, we do see a picture here of something that's unfolding. And that has allowed me to have that observation at a location about an incident and be able to provide additional information about it. On the top menu is this plus sign. This is how you enter an item of interest. What I really want to do right now is tell people that I've got an industrial facility incident. And this is the Chevron refinery, and I am observing downed fences. So now everybody knows that we might very well have a problem over here because we've got them here. I'm going to come over here to the Bay Bridge, just as an example. I've got my driving directions to get me out there to the Bay Bridge. Other people, in fact, have put a field photo and an update. If I click on that, I see the picture of the Bay Bridge associated with it. My text on that might be that I've got maze to the east, approach the bridge, structure roadway closed to extensive roadway damage. So that's the narrative that Chris Lee of the EERI put in during the Golden Guardian exercise, and then posted that photograph as well. Let me show you how he did that. Come up here, as it says, from the right menu over here. I'm going to then be able to do a couple of things. First one, I'm going to play this out of a little bit different scenario. What I want to do is come over there. Now, I would normally drive this route and come to that and be able to see that information. This set location function allows me to pretend that I'm driving that route. So I would come down here, I'd drive along 80, and I'd pull over here, and I'd come down to the Embarcadero someplace. I would say, I'm right here. So pretend, and this is how you get to play in the exercise from any place in the country. You can move yourself to the Embarcadero here. You can then be able to observe what is happening there. And the first thing I'm going to do when I arrive is I'm going to check in. Check in is under here, and what it's telling everyone is that I'm here. I'm covering this. I'm doing this observation. It's now there. I've become part of the team, and you're going to see specifically Jim Morentz joins the team down here at that moment. Everybody else now knows that I've joined the team, that I sort of have the observation on this particular item of interest. Now then, second part of that is I'm actually going to observe this thing. I'm going to come back here. I decide that I'm going to do this update. I'm going to click on that update. It already tells me that I'm associated with the Bay Bridge, and then it's closed over here. I'm now going to say that I'm going to see many boats nearby. And I can enter an observation. Small boats are assembling. And I'll just note a couple of things here for you. You've got spell check on this. Now then, if I were on my phone, mobile phone, I would click camera. If I wanted to do a video, I would click a video or make an audio. For now, I'm going to click a file just to illustrate this for you. I'm going to choose the file, street cracks, right there. So I'm going to submit that. So I have now contributed and have become part of the information sharing. That I have gone to this location that has been indicated for me as an item of interest. I have seen that other folks were there and observed it. I have now made a note that there are many boats nearby. I have seen this crack in the ground, and I have duly recorded that crack in the ground. Everybody now is aware of what's happening around the Bay Bridge. Layers allow us to be able to get information and present an image here that is what I want to have. So I can turn the little me icon on and off if I want to. I can turn Teams off and on. Can get rid of these icons and things like that. Some of the key elements, though, this is fully integrated with Google Traffic, so things are getting a little clustered on that bridge. Maybe that's a result of that problem that we just identified there. But you have the full access to the Google Traffic. Weather station connections exist. Announcements allow us to be able to push information out to people in a fashion that allows them to cut across all of the different locations that exist out there. And whenever an announcement is made, that announcement will come in at the next time you refresh. It's going to come in and interrupt you and notify you that here we have a brand new announcement. Here I happen to have a blank slate for my filters. So what I'm going to do is start out, and let's go with that liquefaction that we talked about right now. If I want to add liquefaction as the single filter that I have, I've just reduced everything to these two particular icons, one out here on Treasure Island and one up here in the North Beach area. I'm interested in liquefaction, and I'm also going to be interested in anything related to the freeway and liquefaction, those two things, and as a result, I end up having freeway liquefaction. We got a freeway problem there. We got the Treasure Island liquefaction there. The idea is that I can take that information and significantly reduce it to the specifics that I want to see at any given time. Note some of these items over here. If you put a date format in like that, I'm going to get everything that is on that specific date. And one other piece, there's a Boolean not here, so if I say I don't want to see these things, I want to see everything else, I now have all the things back there except for the specific items that I had before.